Hi everybody, Matt Geary for the Geek Pride cast here on this Monday evening, and I have the distinct pleasure to have the second part of the dynamic duo, the Countess of Cosplay. Some call her beauty, others just bow tie. Juliet Zavatsky.
Hello.
See what I did there? Threw in your gamer tag thing right there.
Yeah, well, we already had this discussion that people kind of read it as like beauty, and it's like, no, it's bow tie. Just get it right. Christ's sakes.
I totally got it. I got it, man. I understood from the start. Though it does kind of look like beauty, though.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, though, like you have to pay to change it, and I had it like years ago, and it's just like, do I pay what, like 12 quid to get it changed? No, because I'm a tight ass. So I won't.
Cool. Okay, as always, if you have any sort of conversation you want to have with myself or with Julieta or if there's both, any questions, anything you want to talk about, then hit us up in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Twitch. And hopefully it'll work. Actually, in fact, I'll let Julieta yabber on about something randomly, and then I will talk.
Okay, then. Yeah. So how about those servers down on Destiny 2?
Yes, I was just about to say that because I was going to, after this, I was going to rock up and go on it, but it is down, which is one of the big issues from number one. Allegedly, they had a lot of server issues.
Yeah, well, now it's saying that it's like overcapacity and that. So, I mean, I don't know whether it actually is or whether it's just like, okay, this is not going to happen like until tomorrow. But oh, I'm so mad. I was like, I just like recreated a character and everything, got it all perfect, got to the farm, and then it was just like, nope, okay, bye now, thanks.
Nope, okay, bye. So how are you find? Okay, so what did you think of the first one? What did you think of Destiny 1?
I never played it, so I don't know whether this is a question to everybody who's played the first one and now the second one. Do you have to start with the first one, or can you just kind of do what I'm doing and just go for the second?
Sorry, breath me 1 minute. I had a bit of a technical glitch there. Yeah, you can play. You can play it as it is. To be honest, as far as I'm aware, I was going to ask you simply because when I first started on Destiny 2, I think a sort of similar character to mine from the first one was in it. It had the sort of red and white colours of Geek Pride, which I think I'd sort of done, and he was a Titan, which my guy was. He was a Titan and stuff. So I'm not sure if it sort of kind of ported some things across, but as far as I'm concerned, it's basically, you don't need to know very much about the first one to play the second one. It's got obviously a lot of the aliens and stuff, so the Fallen and the what are they called? The Hive, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're obviously in the first one and stuff. So you'll if you played the first one, you recognize them. The Red Legion, they're new guys. But so far, having got to level 10, I'm not overly sort of feeling like I needed to know about the first one to play this one. To be honest, the first one had some major issues with storyline. It was just pants. The first one just had a really shit. It just had a shit storyline, and it really put me off. I'm a massive Halo fan. Bungie were sort of the people who spawned Halo, and I thought it would be better. And considering they had that amazing sort of Halo Reach storyline, and then they came up with something weak for Destiny 1. So I'm kind of hoping the storyline in this one's going to be a lot better. To be honest, so far it is a marked improvement, but yeah, the first one was slightly weak.
Well, I mean, I bought it for Josh for his birthday, so obviously he had to go on it first. So I got to watch him play it, and I must admit, when he first started playing it, I was just a bit like, I'm not really keen on this game. I don't know whether it's going to be something I'm going to like, because it was just, I don't know, it just felt like every other game that I've ever played.
Right, okay.
And then as soon as you kind of like get out of that kind of, not really like a tutorial level, but when you get to kind of do your own shit, I was like, oh, okay, now this is good. This is something I could definitely play. So I think it's a little bit deceptive at the beginning.
Yeah. So from what I've done, from how I've played the first one and played the second one, I don't think there's a massive difference in the games so far. Now, there are some subtle differences, but I think I need to play it a bit more to get sort of my mind around it and see if I'm actually going to properly. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it, but I enjoyed the first one. I kind of want to have a game like that I love. I want to love it, and so far, I'm just a bit sort of I'm not sure. I'm enjoying it, but I don't love it at the minute, and I think it just might be because I'm still grinding away, trying to get sort of what level are you on?
Oh, like I'm level 1.
Right, okay. What level did Josh get up to?
Josh, what level did you get up to? 20.
No way! Was he? Did he literally just play it from day one?
Literally non-stop. Well, in fact, actually, because I bought it for his birthday, and I pre-ordered it and stuff. It got sent to my old address, so he didn't get it on the day that it was released. He got it a few days afterwards. But literally, he's like not been very well, so he's just been playing it all day, every day. So I've not had a chance to play it until he went to work, and I was like I quickly got like an hour or so in, and then the freaking service went down. I was just like, oh my god, like,
it's all your fault, Josh. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Wow, that's mad. I'm in level 10, and that took me like 2 days and stuff, just to do that. But see, I have a sort of aversion to sort of MMOs in general. I feel like I can't play too much of them, lest I sort of sink back into the depths of MMO addiction that I had with World of Warcraft. So I tend to sort of keep games like this at arm's length and not get too addicted to them, because if I'm in that shit, I'm literally balls deep and will literally just pump that shit into my veins. So I need to so maybe that's one of the reasons I'm a bit standoffish, because I don't want to get addicted. Got a message from Jay Williams, who is also an Xbox gamer and in the Geek Pride clan. He says, mention the clan, it's lonely in here. So yes, if you are playing Destiny and you're playing on the Xbox, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have cross-platform sort of capabilities at this moment in time. But we've got a clan going for the Xbox One for Geek Pride, for Destiny 2. So if you're on it, join up. We may
join. Yeah,
I'll invite you, because you get
friends.
friend. You get bonuses if you have a clan. You get like XP, clan XP and stuff like that. I'm sure Jay, who's he'll know a bit more about it, but you get sort of benefits and you get better gear if you're in a clan. You sort of work together and things like that. So it is advantageous, apparently, to have a clan. So yeah, you're more than welcome. Anybody else, if you're on the Xbox, you want to play Destiny 2 with some cool peeps, then please join us. At some point we may sort of rock up a PlayStation 1, but so far none of the PlayStation guys have volunteered, and I won't play a PlayStation. So there you go. Right, well, there we go. Okay. So
what kind of race did you pick, by the way? I'm intrigued now.
I'm always human. I am so...
No, I hate people who pick humans. Why would you do that?
Juliana, seriously, I am the most... When it comes to RPGs, yeah, Matt is the most boring man when it comes to RPGs. Right, I tell you what, in any RPG, what do you think? What sort of race, class does Matt pick? What do you think? What do you think I choose in every single RPG I ever play, ever? Oh no, I'll tell you what, 3. Race, class, and alignment. So, what do you think?
Oh, okay. Oh, I bet you make your character look like you, don't you?
Yep.
Oh no, Josh does that.
Every time.
I was watching him pick, and he was like, "Oh, It kind of made it look a little bit like Soldier 76, and I was just like sat there like, "No, this is really boring. Why are you doing this? This is so lame." But because You know, and you can. Oh, have we got another person?
We may have a Dave. We may have a Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave. It's ringing. Anyway, carry on. He'll come in when he
Yeah.
comes
So yeah, I was like watching him, and then like you can kind of have a quick look at the other races and stuff. And why is it that the men or the male characters always look way better than females? So I almost picked a male character, but
no way. So yeah. So what do you think? So I'm a guy. I always choose a guy who looks like me. So what else? What sort of class do you think I go for?
You played Skyrim, didn't you?
I did play Skyrim, yes.
Were you a Nord?
Yes, I was a Nord.
No.
At the time, in my defense, when I was playing Skyrim, I had long, manly sort of Viking hair at the time. You know, I had it like, you know, down here, and I used to plait it sometimes like a Viking. So yeah, my missus really does not like that haircut. She's like, "Oh, why would you do that?" I was like, "Because it was cool, man." So okay, so you got a Nord, and would I be a good guy, a bad guy?
You're a good guy. Single time. Every
single time. I am the most boring RPG guy you've ever met in your entire life, even with my names, and it's become a thing. Like, so when we do Roll20 RPGs, or when we do sort of paper and pen ones and stuff, Matt is always a warrior. Matt is always somebody who looks like Matt. And Matt's name is always something that relates to Matt. So my rogue trader, which is like a Warhammer 40k type RPG I play, my my character's called Matt T. Girk. So it's Matt T. Instead of like James T. Kirk, it's Matt T. Girk. There was another one. We were playing Call of Cthulhu, and I just called Tristan was my first name, and that's my second name as it is, and I just said, yeah, Geary. It's less confusing, and it's now become a thing where I have to have like the most mundane sort of simplistic name ever now for RPGs. That's just what I do.
Oh my god, no! I literally Skyrim. I'm always an Argonian. I've never been anything other than an Argonian, apart from in Oblivion at the start. You know, when you're in the dungeon, and if you become like an Argonian first, you can use like the sight to get through the dungeon, and then you change. But
which one was the Argonian? Is that the cat?
No, the Khajiits were the cat, and the Argonians were the lizards.
You were a lizard.
Yeah, always a lizard. Because in Oblivion, they could breathe underwater. They were you couldn't be poisoned. And what else? I'm pretty sure they had like something really awesome. But yeah, I was just like, okay, this is so cool. And you can have like spikes coming out your head. You can have horns. You look absolutely bitching. And then but then they changed it in Skyrim, so you're kind of like susceptible to poison a little bit, but you could still breathe underwater. So, you know, I always looked really cool. I always went for characters that looked really cool, that weren't pretty at all, looked absolutely nothing like me, but were like the weirdest things possible, because I like my characters to be anything but what I am.
Yeah, I'm just it's just me. It's just me sort of playing the game as if I was there. So it's like, you know, I make sure I get really upset, like in Destiny 2. I can't get any facial hair like this. You know, and there's no, you know, there's no caps like this, or like, you know, sort of swept over hair. You know, if I had my long hair, it would be all right. I could have sort of got away with it. So I've just got some guy with sort of like a mohawky type thing, and I'm kind of thinking, you know, I could have a mohawk. I could just push it up like this when I'm in the shower or something. You know, who knows? Dave, are you there? David.
Hello, how's it going?
Way!
I have arrived.
He has arrived. I'm arriving.
Better late than never.
So, Dave, have you played Destiny 2?
No, I have not.
But I thought you were like big into your Destiny and stuff.
I love Destiny. Absolutely adored the first one. Well, I loved the first one when it first came out, and then went off it and just hadn't played it for about a year. Then went back and got the Ultimate version with all the expansions. Fell in love with it again. Poured maybe an extra 60, 70 hours into it again. But I still haven't finished. There's still strikes that I haven't finished in the first game, and I'm determined to finish it before I start Destiny 2.
I don't
just
like we were saying earlier. I don't
to.
think you need to storyline wise. It's sort of
No, it's not that. I poured so much time into my character in the first game, and it's the idea of just betraying it and just jumping into the new game. I don't know. And plus, to be honest, the real reason why I'm not is because I'm still knee deep in The Witcher 3, and I am determined to finish that game. I'm 120 hours into that, and I'm not playing any other game like Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I still have Horizon Zero Dawn to play, and no, The Witcher 3 has taken over my life, and it will continue to take over my life.
I kind of wish I was like you, Dave, but I'm one of those guys who, as you can probably see from my room, if I see shiny things, I'm like, oh my god, and I flit pretty easily, you know. So I'll be playing Destiny 2, or I'll play a game like that, and I'll be on it for a while, and then something else will catch my eye, and I'll go, ooh, I'm over there, and I'm doing that instead.
But I'm really like that as well. I'm really like that as well. I mean, there's so many games that I've got. I mean, on PlayStation Network, they throw 3 games at you every month, and I think the other one, I think 2 months ago it was Until Dawn. Don't know if you played that.
Yeah.
So the interactive horror film, awesome, really, really good, and had wanted to play it for a while. Got playing it, got about halfway through, and then another game came up, and I just jumped into that. So I am normally like that. It's just there's only really been 3 games that have really sort of grabbed me that I have become addicted and will not stop until I finish them, and it was Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect 2, and now The Witcher 3.
See, I can't sort of I can't finish games like Grand Theft Auto and even Red Dead Redemption and stuff. I can never finish them. I just get through the campaign, and then that's it really. I don't sort of kind of go and do all the achievements and things. I feel like, I'm happy enough. It's weird because I'm happy enough to go around running people over, doing random stuff. But then as soon as the campaign's over, as soon as I've finished that shit, I'm just like, yeah, I'm done now. Don't move on. I move on to something else.
It just depends how much of a completist you are. I mean,
I wish
if you're in,
but I can't.
yeah. I mean, if you're into, I mean, Jesus. I mean, The Witcher is just ginormous. Like the scale of the game, it's maybe 3 times bigger than the GTA 5 map. And there's just so much to do, in terms of leveling your character, which I suppose isn't in GTA. In GTA, it's basically just, you maybe buy some businesses and so on. But leveling up your character is very addictive, as it is in obviously most games. But I think it's if you're a completist, if you want every stat, if you want to collect every weapon, I think of Red Dead Redemption and stuff, like the hunting and the foraging and stuff.
Yeah,
I think those types of games, the big open world games that have that aspect, certain people like me will just become addicted to it and just can't walk away from it. Whereas I think, if you want to just dive in and just experience the campaign and really, enjoy the shit out of it, awesome. But again, some people want to look at it, playing it a different way.
I get sort of I don't know what it is, and I honestly think it is. Now I have a little laugh about WoW addiction that I had when I was sort of into World of Warcraft, but I think it has left me with this sort of not bitter taste, but I it's like aversion there. I've got to the point where I knew how sort of addicted I was to that game, that I need to stay away from stuff like that. So if I find myself like Skyrim or Red Dead Redemption or even Destiny and stuff, I find myself just kind of being a bit like, yeah, I don't want to play this game too much because I don't want to get addicted to it. I don't want to be spending all my time and feel like I've wasted my life on this game instead of doing something else. Like the one thing when I was honestly addicted to World of Warcraft when it first came out, and I was like, I don't know how many hours I put into that game, like months worth of hours into that game, like just I was on it all the time. and I wasn't going to band practice. I was barely talking to my girlfriend at the time. It got to the point where she was like in playing the game just so she could spend time with me at the time, you know.
Aw, that's nice though.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't through choice. It was through, I can't spend any time with them, therefore I'm just going to make a blood elf character and stuff and join them.
Yeah, but she could have dumped you. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's
She should have done.
pretty decent of her.
She probably should have dumped me, to be honest. But there you go. Yeah, and I was just getting the point, and I think my moment, and I've said this a few times, my moment in World of Warcraft was I was sitting there on a Saturday afternoon, and I wasn't being productive. I wasn't sort of doing anything. I didn't have the website and stuff at the time, but I was still like making models and things. So I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't writing any songs from a band. I think we had just sort of we were releasing an album. Hadn't got any of that. Wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there with my mouse and keyboard in I don't even know where it was. One of the Dronari places in World of Warcraft. Just flying around on my Griffin in a circle, being bored in the game, and I caught myself on. I was just sitting there kind of going, holy shit, I have been sitting here for like an hour and a half, flying around in a circle, doing nothing, and I just went, what the fuck have I done? And I literally turned it off, deleted the game, and never went back. It was just like, I just wasted my life on this game, and that was it. I met, I met some really nice people. I'm still friends with some of them. They're on my Facebook and stuff, and I did enjoy my time there. But it was really bad, and it literally took this moment of clarity of going, "What the fuck are you doing with yourself?" And I had to just go delete, and I had to go cold turkey, and it literally was like, they kept on bringing out new sort of patches and things and new stuff. Oh, look, this new stuff. And even now, when they're kind of going, oh, look at all these new races. Oh, you can level up to level 90 straight away if you want. And I'm like, no, don't do it. I can't help it. So yeah, and I think that might be one of the reasons I find it hard to sort of complete games now or get into things, because World of Warcraft was all about completion. It was about getting armor sets, about sort of doing that, and it made you feel sick in a way. It's hard to sort of explain. I know it's a game and it shouldn't, but it did. It made you feel sort of slightly sick. I remember grinding, just trying to get a piece of armor, and I spent an entire day to get this piece of armor. When I got it, I was like, "This is brilliant! I finally got it." And then they brought out like a patch which basically made it null and void, and you could get stuff. You could just get up another level and get something better than it straight away, and I felt physically sick. I was just like, and this is what worry. What's not worry? I have this sort of, when I'm playing Destiny, I was doing it last night. I was like, oh cool, I can buy this cool equipment from this guy because I've got loads of reputation. And I went, wait a minute. All it takes is for this level cap to go up once more, and all that money and all that time I've spent is going to be for nothing. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to buy anything to the very end, and even then I'm going to be miserly with it. So yeah, there you go. There's my life story and my addiction. I'm Matt Geary. I'm a WoWaholic, and it's been 10 years since my last game.
Wow.
So what are your first impressions of Destiny 2 then? For someone who hasn't played it but knows everything about it. I mean, I've seen multitude of videos and so on, but yeah. I'm
enjoying it, but I enjoyed the first one. My issue with the Destiny, and we talked about this briefly, myself and G. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the first one, but I felt it could have been better, especially with Bungie, obviously being the creators of Halo and stuff. I'm just not getting that sort of like, this is an amazing game. Like I'm on, Jay will tell you, I used to shout, I'm in this like WhatsApp group, and they're always going banging on how amazing it is. This is amazing, this is amazing, the best game ever. And I'm playing it, I'm enjoying it, but it's not anything different from the first one. You've got the same there's a new species in it. Guns are pretty much the same. There's a few changes maybe in the what you can do with your armor and things like that, but I'm not finding any, other than the fact you're on a farm now instead of in the city, or the Citadel. What was it, the Citadel?
It's it was the Citadel.
Yeah.
The tower.
The tower, yeah. You're on a farm. But I'm only level 10, so I'm not going to make a judgment. I'll probably do a review for it later, but as it is, it's not. I wouldn't kind of go, oh, this is fucking amazing, because I'm just sort of not sure.
Have you been doing any grinding yet? Have you hit the grind wall? That's what happened with me and with a lot of people. The first time you played it, I mean, obviously you've got the main campaign, which takes you up to, I think it was level 20. And once you play through all of the main missions, and then it's essentially until they bring out the inevitable expansion packs, it's just grinding the same maps over and over and over again to level up.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? The grind. I hate the grind. I kind of wish that games found a way around it. It just or it's some new mechanic so you didn't have to grind. Grinding makes me feel sick. It just brings me back to the days of Warcraft, and I hate it. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons when I finish campaigns I just stop, because I'm like, I'm not grinding. I refuse to grind. Especially when you've got that thing where the next expansion comes out, and then level 21 guy who's just come in the door, or has just got the level 20s, got better equipment than me, and I've spent the last 4 years grinding to get this piece of armor.
But do you think that's where, I mean, again, I really enjoyed Destiny, and I enjoyed it especially once the expansions came out, and it added so much more in. You had the raids, you had the strikes, where you could group together with a group of people and do them together, and that added a really excellent sort of extra life to it. But do you think the grind and the leveling up is a lot different than, say, something like a Skyrim or a Witcher or even a Fallout or those types of games, whereas instead of leveling up by repeating grinding the same levels over and over and over again, they aid you in leveling up by giving you really, you can explore and come across different side quests and stuff, which to me is always more interesting.
I like the ones you can just sort of, they just appear and you can just jump in and get, like, I rocked up to like a fight with a big fucking robot thing. I was there for about 5 seconds and I got some gear, and I was just like, brilliant. So that works for me, so yes, I like that I like the way they've done that. And to be honest, especially because we've done this clan thing, I kind of would like to maybe play with other people, and might get me a bit more sort of into it and stuff. Like I said, we used to do Halo nights for Geek Prize, so I don't see why we can do like a Destiny night and stuff. So yeah, I'll give that a whirl and see how it goes and stuff. But so far, I'm lukewarm with it. It's good, but I'm not sort of going, this is the best thing ever, because I'm not sure. Yep. What I was going to say, again, if anybody who's watching, if you want to jump in, have a conversation with us about Destiny or anything, by all means, leave us some messages on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitch, please. Dave, now you're here.
Yes.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't. I have indeed. I have indeed. Went to see it at the weekend.
I haven't seen it.
Loved it.
I haven't seen it yet, so I just wanted to ask you. Now, I've seen some clips, and I've seen some bits, and it does look pretty good. And Gearsden was his birthday at the weekend, and he was going, "Oh, my mate, it's the best thing ever. Ooh, it's brilliant." And he's just kind of going on about it, and I just want to know: is it going to be? Am I going to be disappointed?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I hear it's quite gruesome.
No, not really. Right. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, and I'll judge if you will enjoy it. Right? Did you like Stranger Things?
Loved it. The guy from Stranger Things in it.
Yes. One of the actors, but he's actually not one of. He's just one of the random losers. He's not, the main character. He's not Bill Denver. He's one of the sort of backing characters. So you like Stranger Things?
Yep.
You're right. Do you like jump scares in horror films, like modern horror films, like sort of, what would you say, like The Conjuring and that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
So you don't mind a jump scare?
I don't mind a jump scare.
Wait, like cheap jump scares?
Actually, no. Actually, really well constructed jump scares. Like not. Okay. I was really surprised because I thought this will just turn into a typical, Blumhouse, Conjuring, / Annabelle sort of stupid jump scares. but it was really well constructed. It really reminds me. It's like a mixture of Stranger Things mixed with like Poltergeist era Spielberg.
Wow.
You know, like 80s sort of. You know, it's horror, but it's done in a sort of a creepy, fun way, as opposed to just a sick. You know, the gore for gore's sake. There is bits of gore in it, but it's nowhere near. People are making it out that it's super gory, and it's really not. It's really not.
Okay, yeah. There's a bit, the bit with Georgie apparently is more graphic than it is in the original.
But again, it's have you seen the original in a while? The original miniseries in a while?
No, I haven't seen it in years, man. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But yourself, Sheila, have you seen it?
Oh, not in a while. Yeah.
In a while. It doesn't hold up well. It really doesn't. I went back to watch it a couple of months ago, and Tim Curry is incredible in it. You know, that will not change. His version of Pennywise is just insanely good. But that's him as an actor. His strength as an actor. See him in Legend and Rocky Horror and, you know, Clue and other great films he's been in. But
he's the butler. He was the butler in Clue.
He was the butler in Clue.
Yeah.
I love that film. But he was fantastic in a really dull, bad adaptation miniseries. If you go back and watch it, the performances are wooden as hell. The effects are woeful at best. I mean, the final fucking spider thing that they fight at the end of the second episode is just... It's like,
but even he went... I mean, I saw an interview and he was just like, that was terrible. So, yeah. I mean, he even knew that.
Well, they spent... I mean, the budget that they spent on that is one of the biggest... At the time, was the biggest budget that they'd ever spent on a TV show. And it was absolutely massive. It would probably be the equivalent of, like, you know, a couple of episodes of Game of Thrones. It was that big, and the fact that they came out with that, I mean, it looks like a fucking papier-mâché stop motion, you know, monstrosity. Like, it's absolutely.
I forgot it was actually a TV. It wasn't actually a film that was in the movies. Yeah. It was on the TV.
Yeah, TV show.
Because that's saying a lot of I found that a lot of Stephen King stuff were TV films.
Salem's Lot's the best. Out of his TV adaptations.
What's the one I really enjoy? Through the Cat's Eye.
Where the cat like comes out of his throat.
No, it's the one where it's basically it's a bunch of short stories.
Oh, Cat's Eyes.
Cat's Eyes, yeah.
The one from the 80s.
Yeah, and it's through the cat, and basically you've got the one, the three stories. I think is that the same one which has got the old woman who's got the kids in the it's kind of like a Hansel and Gretel sort of thing, and she's got some kids and she's going to eat them alive, but then they want to tell some story. Is that another one?
I don't remember that. I remember Cat's Eye. Who did that film? It wasn't Toby Hooper. It's the one that I always remember. There's three stories in it.
It's one of the gargoyle.
It's always the most famous. It's the one where it's the wee gargoyle. It's actually Drew Barrymore as a kid. It was just after E.T. came out, and when she sleeps,
the gnome,
this little gargoyle comes out and tries to like suck her breath.
Yes.
And so her cat protects her.
Yeah. But there's two other ones. See, I'm not sure if I'm mixing them up or not, because there's obviously
there's the one where I think I can't remember his name, but he's the main guy from Airplane, you know, the comedy Airplane.
Yeah.
And it's him, and it's like he's caught having an affair with this gangster's wife, and the gangster gives him a proposition. So instead of killing him, he gives him a proposition where he has to go out on top of, I think it's like a ledge on top of the Empire State Building, and walk the length of walk around the Empire State Building on this ledge.
Right.
And he's trying to scare him, and he's trying to like push him off and all this sort of shit. That's the other one. I can't remember the third one.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. It must be the one where there's one where the kids are... Yeah. There's kind of like a Hansel and Gretel thing, and I think it might be the kid from Wonder Years actually, who's he's trying to tell the woman a story, and it's about there's one about a gargoyle as well, which is this guy, and I'm not sure if he's like, from what I can remember, because it was years ago, but it was like he gets attacked by this gargoyle thing, and
I know exactly what you mean. I was just thinking of that one. That one has always stuck with me.
Yeah, and he says to him, he's just like, I won't tell anybody. And all I can remember is the gargoyle turning around and going, "You promise?" And then it sort of scratches him down his chest, and then disappears. And then, without spoiler warning, if you're, it's a very old film, but at the end of that story, he's like an artist or something, and he draws all these pictures of this gargoyle thing, and he's got a kid, and he's got kids, and he's got a wife, and he loves them, and everything's very happy. And at the very end, he turns around to his wife and says, I have to tell you something. And he tells her the story about the gargoyle. And then she starts crying, and then the kids start crying and stuff. And he's like, what's going on? And then she turns into the gargoyle, and the kids turn into like mini gargoyles. And it's just like, holy fuck, what the fuck's going on here? And that always sticks with me, man, because it's just fucked up. Yeah. It was on the same one, I think, which had Steve Buscemi, and there was like a mummy. And he had some way of making the mummy come alive, and he went around and killed people. And
it sounds awesome. Are you sure? Is it like an episode of like The Outer Limits, or
no? It was like it was like graveyard ones. It was like a cluster of 3 stories together. Because I remember watching that one, and I was like, oh no!
Nightmares
It kind of like scared me, but like not because it was scary, but because it was such a good story. I mean, Stephen King is just a god of horror, but yeah, that one was just amazing.
It was really good. It always stuck with me as well. I think Terry Tompkins on Facebook says Nightmares in the Sky. Was that? It sort of rings a bell.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of Googling it right now.
Seriously, Dave, if you haven't seen it, I'd be surprised, but you should, because I remember there's 3 good stories, and I can remember the mummy one and the one with the gargoyle. I can't remember what the third one is, which is going to be slightly annoying. But yeah, that was very good. So yeah, let us know what it is.
Let's see. Tales from the Dark Side? Is it
Tales from the Dark Side? That's it. Tales from the Dark Side. That's it.
I bloody have seen that, but I don't remember that one. I really don't remember that one.
Seriously, man, it's always stuck with me, because I was just like, that's fucking weird. That was so good. I think that was the last one, and it's just the fact, the girl says, "You promise," and then it fucking scratches him and shit. And then at the end, it's like, holy shit, he's married the gargoyle, and it's turned into his woman. That's fucking mad.
I know, and what a bitch. Why did she have to kill him?
Yeah, she does, right? She kills him as well at the end, and he's like, oh no. And I promised. It's like, oh man. That's like, there you go.
There's so many great like 80s and 90s horror films like that. The portmanteau, it's called, where it's just, the mini sort of movies within one long movie. There's so many great, like Creepshow was one that was always really good, and Twilight Zone the movie was great as well.
Do you know what horror film? It wasn't a horror film. Was it Tales from the Crypt one? Demon Knight.
Demon Knight, you thinking of?
Demon Knight.
Was awesome.
Loved that.
Just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. I loved it. It was so good. That was a good one. What other ones central? I always quite liked those sort of cheesy 80s horror films. Like the Critters and
Critters was a mint film. That terrified me like growing up. Literally, I could not sleep. I think I had a babysitter over, and they were like, come on, it's your bedtime, and I was like, no, I really want to watch this film. I kept falling asleep, but I didn't want to go to my own, so I literally had to try and prop my eyes open to pretend I was watching it, but I was absolutely petrified.
I was such a wuss when I was a kid. I don't, bad babysitting. So my babysitter was amazing, but I just they used to watch horror films, and I'd just be sitting there watching these horror films. I remember watching Hellraiser as a kid and being freaked out, absolutely just freaked out. But yeah, I remember sort of my sister, me and my brother were getting looked after by my uncle in London, and he put on Thriller by Michael Jackson, the video, and I thought it was like a horror film, and I couldn't watch it. I was like, covers in my head. Just wouldn't do it. Yeah. So bad.
Do you have bad dreams of dancing zombies?
Yeah. Bad dreams. Tremors. Terry says Tremors. That was a good film. That was a good film.
fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
good.
fantastic. Apparently they're not remaking it, but they're talking about making a new TV show, and Kevin Bacon's gonna come back and be in it,
All right, wow, yeah,
which
that'd
would be
good.
awesome.
That's, you know what, I was thinking about Kevin Bacon the other day. And it's like he's been in a lot of movies, but like the last one, I think what was the one? Sleepers, was it? Was it the one where they're the kids and he's a pedophile?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the sort of not prison guard, but it was like a juvenile.
yeah, that's it.
Homeowner.
And it's just like playing roles like that's very sort of what's the word? It's sort of, it could hurt your career. It's like, what's his name? Was in Donnie Darko, died.
Patrick Swayze. Patrick
Swayze, because he obviously played a pedophile effectively, and that was his last movie. And it's just like that's
because he died of cancer.
Yeah, I know that, but it was just sort of, it's just like it's a dangerous thing to be playing. You know, that's going to be that's my last movie.
That actually that resurrected his career. That actually resurrected his. I think he got really good reviews out of that, and he was in a couple of sort of, not bit parts, but he ended up like getting a couple more parts on the back of that. But then he was diagnosed with cancer and died. So that's why he never really did anything of note, really.
Yeah. Apparently he funded it. He funded the whole thing because it wasn't going to do it. So he sort of, it worked, and I guess the Gyllenhaal kids basically became who they are because of his funding of that movie.
I think did what do you call it? I think Drew Barrymore funded it as well. I think she's in it. I haven't.
Yeah, she is. She is in it,
years,
and she annoys me in that film because it's just like, one of the greatest words, greatest words in the English language is cellar door. I'm like, shut up! It's not. There's lots more better words than that.
But yeah, it really good. Really enjoyed it. I went in with really low expectation. Really, I'd seen the trailers. The trailers just looked beautiful. But it didn't look like anything really new. It just looked like a typical jump scare horror adaptation from a company or from New Line, who have done some absolutely horrible remakes. Like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, the really terrible remakes. But went in with really low expectation and was really pleasantly surprised. Really enjoyed it. The chemistry of the cast is fantastic. All of the kids are really good. Bill Skarsgård, who again was really sort of just like, right, how is his performance going to come off? Is he going to try and just do a Tim Curry, or is he going to go really overboard? It's kind of like it's really very very well done. It's like, equal parts sort of Tim Curry, equal parts sort of, a really good version of the Joker.
Yeah.
In a sense, like
Pennywise
Heath Ledger,
the dancing clown.
Yeah, but it's just really very very creepy, but not in an over the top sort of way. There are jump scares in it, but I don't want to spoil anything, but they're done in a tasteful way. It's not just for the sake of it. And there is actually some genuine comedy in it as well, which is good, which actually is really, if you go back and read it, it's a really good book, but there's a lot of humor running through it, even though it is a very very dark book. They did it looks stunning. And I think the budget, they were saying the budget was only like 25 million, which for a modern film is just absolutely insane. So I really really recommend it, but again, go in with the sort of expectation that, okay, it's just a fun Stranger Things that influenced horror film.
Cool. Apparently, your man Skarsgård, I've never heard of him. He's a Norwegian actor who I think his brother plays Floki in the Vikings series.
Yes,
and his uncle.
He's one of 3 brothers.
Oh, is it the 3? And then the other one is the Doctor in the Marvel films. The one who was in Thor.
That's his dad, isn't it?
Is it his dad?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård. He was in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and then his older brother is, I can't remember his name, but he's the one. He was the last Tarzan. He was in
He's well
True Blood,
lit.
and yeah, there you go. And then obviously Gustav Skarsgård, yeah, is Floki in Vikings, and he's fucking awesome. So
He is.
yeah.
He is a good character. And actually, talking about sort of kind of family line, I had no idea that Chris Hemsworth had brothers, and they were actors as well. I think there's one of them. I can't even remember what film it was. Like, that guy looks like Chris Hemsworth. And
One's in the Hunger Games, isn't he?
yeah, that's it. That's it. He's in the Hunger Games. And I was like, wow, that guy kind of looks a bit like Chris Hemsworth, and it's his brother. So yeah. There you go. Oh, so bad, so bad. So yeah, I might actually go and see that tomorrow. Then I'm gonna go and watch that tomorrow.
What about then because I mean, like, we kind of briefly discussed like older scary films and stuff, but have you actually come across like a recent scary film that actually you actually enjoyed? Because a lot of them I've just found to be absolute garbage.
Do you think you get sort of desensitized though? I think as time's gone on, so many have come out that I don't get scared really of films anymore. Jump scares get me and I go ooh like that, but it's not because I'm scared. I'm just sort of like, it's just you just jump a bit.
No, I mean, they tell you. I mean, jump scares, they pretty much tell you when to be scared,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
it annoys me because I mean, a lot of the time it's like a fake scare. So you think that something bad's going to happen because all the music's like going intense, and then like, you know, the tap on the shoulder and they turn around and they think it's going to be the killer, but it's not. It's just Timmy down the road. He's lost his bike or something, and you're just like, oh Christ's sake. But I find like a lot of films kind of do that nowadays, and it just kind of ruins it.
It's cheap. It's a cheap way of doing it. You know, I mean, the jump scares are fun if they're done in a different, a different way. Then it is great fun. But when you, as you say, when the music builds up and you know something's going to happen, there's no enjoyment there. You're just kind of sitting there going, oh, right, you know.
I think it's hard. I think, and from what I can see, they're sort of going back to sort of monster films in a way, because there's a film coming out I saw an advert for, and it's one of those sort of like camcorder-y type ones, but they are basically they're trying to get monsters into a house. So they put a sort of, instead of a guy dressing up as a monster, they see if they can find some real ones, and they get sort of like an advert in the newspaper, and they basically get these people who are actually monsters to go into this house, and they obviously, instead of, you know, scaring people, they kill them instead.
As you do.
As you do. But it's just like, you know, it just seems to be a lot. It's more relating to sort of like Insidious is like there's a demon and stuff, isn't it? And
yeah,
you know, they're not going, you know, there's not, like Terry says, there's like the Blair Witch style. I prefer the Blair Witch style things. I know you both hated Paranormal Activity, but that kind of freaked me out slightly when I watched that. Simply for the bit where she gets sort of dragged out of bed. I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
I didn't hate it. Well, I'll clarify. I didn't hate the first one. I think it was a really interesting concept. I mean, I know, again, found footage horror films have been, you know, out for years. So, I mean, you know, right back to like Peeping Tom in the 1960s and Cannibal Holocaust in the 1970s and so on. So, found footage movies have always been there. Blair Witch was the first blockbuster found footage, and it was awesome. But it sort of, as with any trend that comes along, there'll be people will identify and go, that made a shit ton of money, I'm going to make it. And you'll get more and more and more copies that come along, and it just sort of dilutes the strength of the original. I actually thought that it was first Paranormal Activity was a good concept. It was different. It wasn't the stereotypical found footage. It was, you know, just sort of strange, and I think the execution was good. But I think what happened was when you started getting all of the copycat sequels coming out, and then loads of other films coming out that just did the same thing, it diluted the strength of the original to the extent that it's like, I would never want to watch it again.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But I think in terms of modern horror, you know how obsessed I am with it. There are actually quite a few the films that get me, the films that I've enjoyed recently, are ones that are totally come out of nowhere, and are just done in a slightly different way. They're not the big budget, insidious, Conjuring sort of ones. They're strange little ones that come out of nowhere and have a different, try to do something different. Like It Follows was one that I absolutely adored, because again, it stayed away from the jump scare type thing, because it was about the sense of dread, you know, this fear of someone's over your shoulder. Someone could be walking towards you to get you at any time. And it wasn't that sort of, you know, loads of jump scares. It was just this sense of, you could see someone in the background just walking slowly towards you. So again, that was really good. And stuff like You're Next, which I really enjoyed, which is this sort of like, it starts off like a stereotypical, you know, home invasion, people being hunted in their house and trying to survive. And then midway through, it turns into this like outrageous comedy horror where one of the girls just turns into like this fucking survivalist MacGyver, just killing all of these people with, like, you know, using a knives and a toaster to shoot shit at people. And all. Stuff like that was really, I just thought was fun and interesting, and just not the stereotypical crappy horror.
You know what, you know, overly gory horror films with jump scares, you know, they're a romp. You know, I don't lose any sleep about them anymore and stuff. You know, when I was a kid, it might have, but now I'm just like, you know, you see past it all. But there's films like, you know, The Babadook. Have you seen The Babadook?
Yeah.
I love that film.
The Babadook. It was sort of, it was freaky without being freaky, and that made me, when I finished watching it, I know it's meant to be sort of an allegory, is that the word? An allegory of
grief.
Of grief, yeah, an allegory of grief, and sort of, you know, losing somebody and getting to grips with it. I know it had a deeper meaning to it, but you know, that was a pretty freaky film. I remember watching that Halloween at John's house, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna watch this Australian horror," and I was like, "Boom, not interested." And it was brilliant. Really enjoyed that film, and I think my all-time favorite horror film has to be Event Horizon. Loved that film.
That's a really good choice.
Event Horizon freaked me out. I could not sleep for days, man. Like, literally, just that film just messed my head up.
Have you seen it?
No. What's that about?
Oh, Juliet, you'll love it, right? Because there's a theory it's the precursor to Warhammer 40,000. Because basically, that's the theory. So basically, yeah, it's got Lawrence Fishburne in it. It's got Sam Neill's in it, yeah. And they basically figure out that they can use warp drives, and they sort of do it. You know, it's going from one point to another by bending space. And then what happens is this sort of experimental ship goes through the warp with its crew.
Oh, wait a second. This came out, like, I say recently, in the last like year or so. It's not like a mega old one, is it?
It's 2000.
It's late 90s, late 90s.
Oh yeah, because I went to see it. Yeah, it would be late 90s. Yeah.
Because there not? There's a film recently that has that same sort of plot in terms of folding space.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No,
it's not like a scary film. It's good, but it's like
Passenger. Is that it? Was that the one where they talk about it?
No, Passengers is.
That's got Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Oh shit! What is it? Yeah, because they basically do the same scene where someone describes the concept of folding space with a bit of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
What? Oh shit! It's Interstellar.
Is it Interstellar? Yeah.
Interstellar does that, where they talk about folding space when they're trying to describe an event horizon of a black hole.
Yeah. So basically, it's that, and they go into this sort of the crew go into this portal. And then disappear. Nobody hears from them. Then suddenly it reappears, and there's no contact. So a salvage crew, Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, and stuff, they go up to see what's going on. And then some weird shit starts happening, like, you know, people start getting possessed and stuff. There's loads of visions. There's a horrible vision in it where, like, literally it just flashes on the screen and then flashes off. No, it's one of the recordings, isn't it? It's one of the recordings from the old crew. And it's basically just hell, and they're like holding eyeballs and like screaming and things, and it is horrible. It's so grim, but it's an amazing film. You should watch it.
It's like Hellraiser in space.
Yeah, it is. It's psychological, but it's gory, but it's just, you know, it is, and you can see sort of the similarities with it being 40K and stuff, because they've gone to sort of another dimension and come back and stuff. But yeah, that film freaked me out. Absolutely freaked me out.
It's very, very well done. The only thing that you can say is that the success of it enabled the same director to go and make Alien versus Predator, which is fucking horrible.
Yes, I was like, why? Yeah. I don't understand. How did that happen?
And Resident Evil as well.
Terry Tompkins. It was called Event Horizon. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. It is one of the best horror films that I've ever been. I love that. It's good. Yeah. Alien. Do you know what the problem with Alien versus Predator was? They went for the 15 thing, didn't they? They decided we're going to bring it down so we can make toys and make games and stuff, and it was just grim.
Do you want to know what the biggest problem with Alien versus Predator is, Matt?
Apart from everything.
Apart from everything, yeah. The biggest problem was it was based on a really great comic,
Hunter's Planet.
Yeah, it was based on a fantastic comic, and essentially it followed a gang of predators going to hunt aliens, and that was great. Why not have... So when you think of Alien vs. Predator, you think of aliens and predators fighting. What you had with Alien vs. Predator was, as with so many films, they have to involve humans. They need to give it an Earth setting, so they involved humans, and they spent 45 minutes. There's like 45 minutes of the film building up until you actually have a fucking alien or a predator, and then they fight for a total, I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes, and the whole film is aliens versus, fighting predators, and the rest of it is just, people being killed by aliens or killed by predators, and humans fighting the two of them, and it's just like, that's not an Alien vs. Predator film.
I thought it was based. The comic book I'm thinking of is, from what I can remember, it was years ago I read it. They're like I said, it's a planet which is being seeded with alien eggs, so the predators can go and hunt them. Then humans have come down and built a settlement on it. It's kind of like a Wild West thing, and then one of the predators gets injured. And the humans basically not capture it, but sort of take it, and then the aliens start attacking the settlement, and the woman, again, forget the name, she has to she lets the predator free, and so it has similarities with what they're doing.
I think I was a later one, Matt, because the one that I always remember was like, I'm a massive, I have all of the collection of the original Dark Horse comics, and there was an adaptation. It was aliens following on from Aliens, and Ripley has disappeared, and it's like Newton Hicks are the main characters. Then there was an alternative version of Predator 2.
All right.
Before they actually made Predator 2 with Danny Glover, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's kind of like Dutch's brother is the main character.
All right, away.
And it's basically just like, basically just Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's a cop in New York. And then there was a third. So it basically that you had these all collected into one big comic. And then the third one was an Alien vs. Predator, and it was basically just, you followed like a gang of predators. And what they would do is they would harvest different versions of aliens from different worlds, including human-based ones, so the typical, the normal xenomorph, and they would put them all onto this singular planet, and they would just send young predators there as an initiation ritual.
Oh, okay.
And they would fight these different aliens, and as I said, there were like sort of all different wacky alternative versions of aliens, because obviously they were harvesting, embryos from other planets. It was really, really good.
Jonathan Hughes says, I wish we got more Predator planets in the movies. Yeah, well, I actually quite enjoyed Predators, the film Predators.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name?
Adrian Brody.
Yeah. It got a bit of stick, but I kind of liked it. I thought it was a good effort. The bits where the samurai, the guy, what's his name? What's the name of the mafia? The Japanese mafia.
Yakuza.
The Yakuza. Yeah, the Yakuza guy gets a samurai sword out and faces off with a predator in a sort of like very Japanese style, sort of like it goes face up and they just charge at each other. I think that's fucking amazing. That was so good.
Yep. It was like Shogun Assassin, Seven Samurai.
Yeah. Amazing. Loved it. Thought it was so good. I thought that was a good film like that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the new one, Shane Black's new one. So we'll see. Right. Okay. All right. Anybody got anything else they would like to talk about before we move on?
I'll defer the floor.
Alien related.
Anything alien related? Anything alien related?
What did you think of what was it? Alien Requiem? Oh.
Yeah, I can. Alien. My favorite is Aliens and Alien 3.
Why?
Alien. I like.
Sacrilege.
Don't get me wrong. I like Alien. Yeah, but for me, the first Aliens film I saw was Aliens, and being a young kid at the time, because I was watching it way too young to be watching it. There was a bunch of Marines with big ass guns. Firing things. I think I was just about getting into them in Warhammer at the time, so I was quite young. There was these guys running around with fucking things, pulse rifles and stuff, shooting stuff, being all American, and I was like, this is amazing, and it's always stuck in my mind as the best one. But then I thought Alien 3 was amazing as well. I loved that film, and I think it gets a lot of bad publicity because it had a bit of everything as well, and I think we've talked about this before in a podcast, Dave.
We have.
Yeah.
We have. My love of Alien 3 as well. Have you watched the director's cut?
No, I actually haven't.
Have you got around to watch it? Oh man, seriously. It's beautiful. Absolutely fantastic.
Actually, I've got the DVDs actually, so I might do that.
I got you the Blu-ray box.
You did, yeah, so I'll fire that on then. So yeah. Alien 4 just Alien 4, Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Predator 2 are just dog shit. Like Alien versus Predator 2 is worse than Alien Predator versus 1. It's like a parody of itself. It's like a parody of a parody, and it's just like they've done this. So they've got all these bits where they're trying to be like aliens, and they're trying to be like Alien, and trying to be like, it's just like, this is shit. I was just like, and I was very reticent to watch Predators when it came out because I was like, please, I don't want another shit Alien type film. And I was pleasantly surprised with that one, so that was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Alien Resurrection though.
Did you?
It was so good. It's still really good. I cry every single time. When she
you cry?
Yeah, because when she cuts herself and she flings it onto the window and then that alien part of her gets sucked through, and it's like looking at her like, "Mummy, how could you do that?" Oh God, tears to my eyes every single time.
That's weird, man. That's so weird.
It's actually I mean, they purposely did that. If you ever watch the Alien box set, the one that came out like a while ago, the documentaries of the making of the film are some of the best making of documentaries you'll ever see in film. They're incredible. But they talked about how they purposely, because they were trying to make it more humanized than the other aliens in the series, they purposely gave it eyes, but they were, they actually gave it eyes, but you could only ever really see they were black. They were always black.
And they gave it a little nose as well, which when it twitched, it was so cute. But that's the thing though, when I watched it, I was like, I want to be Ripley so badly right now because she's part alien. She's got acid for blood. She's so cool. Aliens don't particularly bother her all that much. And to see when you watch it and you think, oh my God, if I was ever actually in a room with an alien, I would crap myself. But
and then die horribly.
But then she kind of surpasses that, and it's like, she almost is one of them now, and they don't particularly mind her. And I mean, if you were in her shoes, it'd be so cool. Do you not think? Is it just me?
Yeah, it's totally.
I think they missed a really big opportunity with it. I think it's a film that I've never liked. I actually went to the cinema to see it when it the day it came out. I remember specifically going with high hopes, thinking it's going to be amazing, and was really disappointed. I think they missed a really big opportunity. Just as you said, the whole, the fact that she does have the alien DNA as part of her now, and it starts off. I like how they start off with her character, where she's still got this sort of, I'm trying to think, like aloofness or strangeness, and you don't know how much of her is human and how much of her is alien, and you're still unsure of her. And I think what you could have done if Josh Whedon had a really wanted to push the boat out and just gone for it, have her turn into a villain, have her go alien and betray them in some sort of way, as opposed to you'd start off with this really good first half and then just kind of go, oh no, she's just reverting back to standard Ripley, shouting orders at people, grabbing a pulse rifle and going, yeah, you go that way, I'll go that, And I think they did miss a trick. And I know they tried to do the whole thing with the newborn, and you don't know how she feels about it, and then she kills it at the end. So it never really sat with me. I just think, as much as I love Jean-Pierre Jeunet as a director, and I think the film does look beautiful, it doesn't feel like an alien film. I don't like even people like Ron Perlman. I think he's wasted in the film.
Yeah.
I never really liked it. But again, maybe it's a film I haven't dared watch it in a couple of years, so maybe I should go back and watch it again. But yeah.
Holy shit! Oh my god. Jonathan Hughes says Charles Dance was awesome in Aliens 3. I forgot Charles Dance was in fucking Aliens 3.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell, man.
He was killed off really early as well, which is pretty shit.
But he's got, when I saw, he's in, what's that film? Is it The Dictator with Ali G? With, what do you mean, not Ali G, fucking, what's his name? Sacha Baron Cohen. And he wears suspenders and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what a waste of a good actor. I love him. I think he's a really good actor.
Do you know, actually, one of my favorite films that he's ever done, and it's one that no one ever remembers, but I fucking love it. Have you ever seen The Last Action Hero?
Yes, he is. Oh, mate, it's amazing with his eye and stuff. He is so good in that film. Yes, when I think of Charles Dance,
smart, witty villain, it's just great.
And it's just the fact that he's like the sidekick, and then he just sort of like he's obviously really intelligent, but he has to sort of what's the word? Not succumb. Fucking. I can't think of the word. Where he has to defer to like an idiot, the fat Italian guy, and he's just like, yeah, fuck this. Amazing, so good in that film. His eyes, his little sort of like glass eye thing, it's really good.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I love how Terry brought up Prometheus. Let's not even speak about Prometheus.
Oh yes, Terry did bring up Prometheus. I thought it was okay. I thought when I came out of it, I was a bit sort of disappointed, and I thought it needed another film to sort of expedite it slightly more. But I think we get a bit more of that now in Alien Covenant. It sort of fits it a bit more now, in a way.
I found that was just way too predictable. Like, don't get me wrong, because I'm such a massive fan of like the whole Alien franchise that, to me, even though I didn't particularly like Prometheus or Alien Covenant, it was more of a like, I just need to see more Alien films. And you're just giving me shit, but I'm taking it anyway because it's just, I need it. It was good to see like how it kind of originated from like Prometheus and stuff, but to me it was just like, I need more, but I need it to be good.
Why did you not like Alien Covenant?
It was way too predictable. It's like, I don't know, it was like a good storyline, but I could have written it on the back of a fag packet, know, way before it even happened.
I
didn't agree more.
Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. The bit with the androids, and I was pretty sure that was going to happen. As soon as he came on, I was like, yeah, I wrote the script. In fact, I turned around to Louise and went, I wrote the script, and it happened. But yeah, so yeah, it was slightly predictable, but I enjoyed it. For its predictability, it was better Prometheus, I thought, and it was a step in the right direction. I'll just be interested to see where they go with it, because obviously at the end of it, again, spoilers if you haven't seen Alien Covenant, stop listening. Where he not taints it. He infects the alien, the human egg embryos with an alien egg. For it to sort of move on to where it's probably going to go, with it ending up on the what's the planet?
LV-426.
LV-426. Yeah. It can't be. It can't be human. No, what's his name? Oh my god, I'm so bad with fucking names.
Fassbender.
Yeah, Fassbender's character. What was his name? What's his character? David. Yeah. It can't be David because obviously it's the progenitors. It's the the navigator guys who they find on that planet originally. So it'll need to go back to one of their planets for that to sort of work together.
They've completely fucked it up. I really enjoyed Prometheus. I know it's sort of sacrilege in a lot of sort of ways. I really enjoyed it. I think it was, again, deeply flawed. There's a lot of things there's a lot of things right about it, but there's a hell of a lot of things wrong about it. And the thing that was most wrong about it is that they didn't put a definitive ending on it. The thing that would have made that film so much better is obviously it's there to set up the start of Alien and finding the derelict craft on LV-426. So what Ridley Scott could have done was, there was the whole thing of the ship of the Prometheus landing on the alien planet, finding the temple and someone getting infected and so on. Why not have that as LV-426? And then you could have had the whole thing with the ship crashing at the end, them crashing the Prometheus into the ship, and then the ship crashing. That could have been the derelict craft. I
know, but he wanted cash. He was just cash cow and that shit, isn't he?
Exactly.
Like, I can milk this now.
Yeah. If he'd had a definitive ending, as in, okay, right, so that's the ship that's crashed, and one of them gets infected. So obviously the engineer or oh god, I can't remember the names, but yeah, it's like the pilot, the space jockey.
Yeah.
That he gets infected by her offspring, and then he gets into the chair, and then that is the space jockey then from the original Alien.
Yeah.
And so what bursts out of him could then be the mother alien who the alien queen who lays all of the eggs, and that just ties up everything neatly with the first Alien. But yeah, this whole notion that they had to go on and do, and then what they could have done, they could have just went on and done a totally different franchise, but you would have still had that definitive tying up with the first Alien. The thing that I enjoyed Covenant as well, it was okay. Again, it was, as Jilly said, it's very, very, very predictable. The thing that really, as they fucked it up, is the life cycle of the alien is just completely fucked up. The fact that they're now stating it's now canon that David the android created the alien, created the xenomorph.
Yep.
After a couple of years of experimenting on a planet. How the fuck is that? How can he do it? And now obviously it's going to be him going and infecting, and yeah, they're going to have to do another 2 films to lead it up to the start of Alien. Yeah. Why? It just doesn't work.
That's cash cow, man, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah. It's all the money signs. Up
the perfection that was the Alien life cycle.
And I think he didn't want Blomkamp to do one, so he's like, "Oh no, you can't do it because I'm doing 2 other films, so you shut your face."
Alien 5, yeah.
yeah. So you can't do that, man. Daniel, Juliana, right? There's I cannot pronounce his name, and he's been on nearly every single podcast when we've done live. Daniel, we call him Daniel Snow last time. Daniel Perhowski. You know how to pronounce these. Pahowski? Is that it, Daniel?
Watch, I will get it horribly wrong, and I've just butchered it, and I'm so sorry.
Sorry, because I butcher it every week anyway. So, Daniel, you're going to have to send us like an audio message or something of how to
phonetically spell it.
Yeah, phonetically spell it so we can pronounce your second name. But yeah, he says I love Prometheus also. He's also mentioned I only just jumped on, sorry. Don't know what I missed. Nice to see Matt fully clothed, unlike his Instagram photograph. You didn't see that photograph then, Dave?
No, I don't know if I want to.
Matt, I was in Crete with my family and my missus. And,
shit! Yeah, I have seen it.
Of course you have, Dave. You just blocked it out of your
blocked
system.
it out of my head.
What were you laid on the bed in your little budgie smugglers?
Yeah, they weren't my
Once
budgie.
it's seen, it cannot be unseen.
They weren't my budgie smugglers. That was Louise's. That was Louise's bikini.
No.
My eyes are still burning.
She basically she'd taken her bikini off and she was like in the shower or something, so I just put it on and I was like strutting around with the full bikini on and stuff, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
"Did you not stretch it out?
Looking sexy."
And
she's all like, "Oh my god, how can you fit into those? Oh my!" And she's like started moaning and stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, look how sexy I am!" And I was like, let's do a boudoir set and stuff. So I was like pulling all these poses, and my final one on the bed, my sexy come to Geary eyes, and that's what I put on Facebook. I was like, Gears was all, "Oh mate, we were gonna Photoshop that." And I was like, dude, I took a photograph of myself in my missus's underwear and put it on Facebook. You honestly can't do anything to me. It doesn't matter. Really, I'm just.
It'll be dug out at your wedding. It'll be best man in the middle of the best man speech. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just trying to. The thing is, because I don't embarrass very easily. I'm an open book. I'll just talk about whatever. I don't embarrass very easily. But I'm just be wondering in my stag do, what they would do to sort of get me. I'm just trying
challenge accept.
Yeah, I don't want it to be anything majorly bad. Like John, it took us 8 of us. I generally I would just accept. You're dressing up like a gimp. Do that. All right, fine. I'll wear this leather and get those assless chaps on. That's fine. Whereas like John fought and took 8 of us to get that little lederhosen thing on him. So I think I might just put up a fight when I'm doing it just because he did. I might do that. Okay, more messages. Terry
can I just... Sorry, go ahead.
Terry says it's now above my bed. Yeah, Terry, you keep that for the cold, dark nights. That'll keep you nice and warm. And Daniel Peros, you're going to have to send this. I cannot pronounce your second name badly every time. Peros. Yeah. Have you talked about J.J. Abrams directing Episode 9? We have not, my friend, because we went from Destiny to horror films to alien films. So I guess we could segue into sci-fi, though we don't have a lot of time left. We don't have a lot of time.
Can I just say, just before we go off Alien, just say it is quite apt, talking about Alien while Juliet is on, seeing as her Alien Queen cosplay is fantastic. I have to say.
Oh, thank you. My night has been made.
Yeah, he has spelt it. It is Perry Hosky, P-E-R, then Y, then H-O-V, then S-K-I. So Perry Hosky. Perry Hosky? Is that it? Perry Hosky. We'll get it right at some point in time.
Daniel Snow, then.
Yeah, Daniel Snow it is. Forever.
Where did the snow come from?
Because we were talking about Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones finale not last week, before I went on holiday. 2 weeks ago. And we were just sort of kind of couldn't pronounce his name, so we just went Daniel Snow, and that was it.
But yeah, Star Wars.
Jonathan Hughes says it's a super badass cosplay. He's obviously talking about me on the bed, not you, Juliana. So that's it. Have you seen? There's a guy, right? And that part of me was the reason I did it. But there was a guy, right? And he's got like a page, and he does all these sort of kind of like pseudo, sort of sexy, sort of like proper photo shoot things. But he's like a big, beardy fat guy, and he's always wearing sort of things. It's hilarious, man. It's absolutely amazing. It's just like every now and again my Facebook feed, there'll be like a hairy man lying in a bath with that's just like, what is this? Well, it's just like
your spirit animal.
Yeah,
you're channeling him.
It's amazing. So good. Love it. I just love random shit just popping up, it's just like brilliant. Yeah. But there we go. It sort of reminds me that my job one but last, if you left your Facebook open, or if you left your computer open, you were basically going to get frapped. You know, general people would send emails to other people from your computer saying that you were in love with them, and that you wanted stuff like that, random things that you used to do, because it's like aversion therapy, because you didn't want, you know, you make sure you lock your computer. And I stupidly walked off to get some water or something, and my Facebook was still logged in, and I came back and everybody was being a bit sheepish, and I said, what have you done? And they basically, and it took ages for me to figure this out, but they'd gone through all, do you know what a bear is? Not obviously the animal, but do you know what a bear is in the sexual connotation?
Jesus Christ, man. Yes.
Like a hairy guy.
Yes, a hairy guy, yeah. They'd gone through all the bear sites on Facebook and stuff, and liked them all. And they gone and they changed my profile picture to a vajazzled vagina, and I know what else they've done. Oh yeah, the worst thing, funny as hell, but the worst thing they did, they went around and they went into all my friends' kids' pictures and started liking all the pictures of the kids.
Oh my god!
And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And I was just like, wow, that is dark, man. That was so dark. So I had to go around like trying to unlike, and still now, like, what happened? I was on my phone, like, because obviously they'd liked all these random things, which I still haven't found everything of that they've liked, and some random like picture came up of it was just gross, and it was meant, it was obviously a sexual sort of thing, some really huge girl, you know, and it was like, let's just say it wasn't very pretty to look at. And my girlfriend's like, why have you liked that? And I was like, I didn't like that. She's like, we have, because it's on your Facebook page. Are you into that sort of thing? She's like, no, I'm not. It's my mates that just frape me, and that shit's still haunting me now, years down the line.
Oh, that's so funny. I wish I was there to witness that.
So it still happens, and my mother's now joined. Hello, mother. She's now in the thing. So
Jesus
PG.
This sounds my mum. We play a game called. Have you ever heard of a game called Resistance? It's like a little card game. It's amazing if you've got loads of people around. You've got like, it's best played more than 6 people and stuff. But there was 6 of us when we were on holiday, and it's basically you've got to decide. You go on missions, and you have to decide if anybody's a spy or not. Like, the spies will try and fail missions, and the resistance guys will try and pass them. And you get dealt a card at the start, and you've got to lie basically if you're a spy, and not get caught. And we tried to get my mum. Well, we did get my mum playing this. There's some videos on my Facebook actually. And she was just useless. There's like failing missions when she was the resistance instead of passing them and stuff, and getting really confused. And it was hilarious, man. Such a good watch, because she was just like giggling to herself, thinking that she was doing the right thing, and it was just like, nope. Oh, she's gone now. But yeah, my mum, the legend, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
What does your mum think of J.J. Abrams directing Star Wars?
I don't think she has. I don't know, Mum. What do you think about J.J. Abrams directing Star Wars 9? She probably doesn't even know. She's probably worried. She beeps a lot. She's like, "Oh, technology." And whenever her phone goes, she's one of these. She like when she types on her phone, she's like, I don't know. You can see me on the thing. She'll poke like this. She doesn't like tap with 2 thumbs doing this. She sort of like pokes one thing at a time, and she gets very sort of like, oh my god, my phone's going off. So she'll be sitting there driving, and her phone will go off, and she'll, oh my god, hands will come off the wheel, and she'll be like panicking and stuff. Doesn't do. My mum says, hello baby, XXX.
Jesus.
Do you know what's amazing about my mum, right? About my mother is that and this is so sad. It's like every time I put a photograph up myself. So back in the day when I was single and I was trying to impress the ladies with awesome selfies of myself, because that works. Awesome selfies of yourself. It would always be my mum would be the first person to reply, going, that's my baby. You looking good. And then my auntie
Who's
would be
a handsome boy?
yeah, and then my auntie would be number 2. That's my nephew. And I'm like, oh no, this is totally not cool. Oh, there you go.
I get my dad like watching my YouTube videos sometimes, and like when I get to see him when he comes back from work, like like the next month or so, he'll be like, "Oh well, I was watching your video the other day, and that bit when Josh was running around on the beach. Oh, it was so funny." And I'm like, "Oh God, like watch my videos."
Dad, do you not watch my videos?
Yeah. Good, Dad.
Good, Dad. It's a liger.
They're like he'll he doesn't even have Facebook, but he'll go and like check on my Facebook and be like, "Oh, I saw you post this picture today," and it's just like, "I'm 25, Dad." Like, crap.
Gee, Dad. That being said, if I daughters, I think you're going to be a lot more protective and stuff. I always remember sort of my sister. She wasn't allowed men in her room till. She basically moved to London before she was allowed sort of anybody in her room and stuff, And I remember her coming home and we were sort of fighting. I was like 18 or something. I think I'd come back. I was just going off to university or coming back. And my mum was or my dad was saying something about, her not having men in her room and stuff. And was like, "Oh, but Matthew has, women in his room. He's had a girlfriend in there." And my dad's all like, "Yeah. But if Matthew gets her pregnant, that's her father's problem. If you get pregnant, that's my..."
No, Irish parents.
Parents for you, man. Parents, just like I've got, Louise, my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend has 2 kids, and one's 6, and it's just, it's mad. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a big kid, so I can imagine you're really good around kids.
I am a big kid. I am quite good. I am quite good with kids. I kind of understand them a lot because I'm just like, this is the kids look at things and like the way kids sort of look at sort of the world, and everything's amazing and everything's just like brilliant, and I'm just like, yeah, I can see that. I like that. I like sort of it upsets me when I'm not sort of amazed by something. It upsets me slightly that Christmas doesn't have the same sort of as much as I love Christmas, it doesn't have the same sort of magic as you would get as a kid, and that upsets me slightly because I love that sort of kind of innocence, the where just like things are amazing, shit happens, she won, like we went out for a meal, and she put loads of money in this machine. They get the grabbing machines to get a toy and failed, and I was like, "Look at the Irish Lily." I put £1 in, and she won. She got the toy. Aww. And her little face just went boom, and she was just like running around going, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever!" Like super excited. And I was like, "Oh, I wish people could be excited about small things like that." I thought that was quite cute.
Yeah, but imagine you now at your age, like getting excited over, I don't know, like Destiny 2 coming out, and you literally running around shoving it in people's faces like, "This is so good."
I kind of do. It'd be like the elf. It'd be like Elf and Elf. It's like, "Oh my God, yeah. Santa Claus!" Yeah. That'd be
quite interesting, actually.
I do get quite excited about some things quite easily. I get excited more than some people about things. Like my girlfriend doesn't understand some stuff. Why? It's just like, why the hell are you even bothered? But I'm just like, this is the best thing ever. Oh my God. Ah, yes. But I suppose that's endearing. It's immature, I guess, but it's like keeping a bit of the magic in your life. In a world that sort of takes it away from you hand and fist, it's good just to have a bit of sort of innocence left, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you enjoy something and it's not harming anybody, then who gives a crap? So
exactly, there you go. That's it, isn't it? That's it.
Although, like, the things that I get excited about, Josh, literally my little setup, Josh calls it Weeb Nation. I started teaching him, like, some anime words and things like that because I watch quite a lot of anime, and I was like, because he said, I think he came across the word weeb, and he's like, "What does that mean?" So I explained it to him, and he was like, "Oh, so kind of like you then?" And he was like, "No." So literally now he just rips into me for liking anything anime or cosplay related. He calls it the Weeb Nation. So
Weeb Nations. Did you? Before we go, actually, I think we've been on for quite a while now, so we'll have to make this quick. But did you see Death Note on Netflix?
I would I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh my god, I haven't seen it. I've seen so much crap about it that I don't ever want to see it because they've just completely whitewashed it. They've changed all the good bits. I'm pretty sure I heard that they didn't even include the potato chip scene, you know, where he's like eating and like writing the names down while Elle's watching him and stuff. Oh, it just annoys me. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it before the McGregor fight because it was just there, and so I watched it, and I was like, this isn't very good. Like, I'm not a massive anime fan, to be honest. You know, it wasn't something I sort of grew up on, but I've seen it. I've seen some of the Death Note stuff, and yeah, I just wasn't that impressed, to be honest. You know, Defoe did a good accent, I guess, but because he always does quite a good sinister accent. But yeah, wasn't that impressed. Wasn't that?
Well,
good.
that to me looked really good. Like, I saw a clip of that and I thought, wow, like they've done Ryuk really well. His voice really suits it. You know, he plays this really awesome kind of throaty character, and then like they change his personality in it and make him a bit more like controlling and things like that. But in the anime, he is not. He's very aloof. He's just kind of like, you know, humans interest me. I'm bored, so I'm just going to throw this into the mix and just kind of see what happens. And then like to say that he's trying to like manipulate the situation in the Netflix version, it's just like,
Yeah, and I can understand, like, you know, again, I don't know it completely, but Gearsden was kicking off about it, some other friends and stuff were kicking off about it. My brother started reading the book, the anime. No, is it anime? Anime's animated, manga is...
No, the manga, yeah.
Yeah, the manga. So he started reading that and stuff because it's different. But yeah, well, you know, wasn't that impressed. I actually think I turned it off 3/4 of the way in. I was just like, yeah, I'm not buying into this really at all.
The thing that really got me was when Light, or well, what's he called in this? He's called like Turner, isn't he? Light Turner. He sees Ryuk for the first time, and in the Netflix series, he screams like a little bitch. Yep. But like, I don't understand that because Light is supposed to be this cool, calm, collective, like, kind of just like way too intelligent to kind of be scared of something like that. I mean, yeah, he is scared in the anime, but he's not a little bitch about it. It just ruined it for me.
There's somebody did a thing, and it's like a video, and it's like this guy, he's meant to be super intelligent and stuff, and then it sort of zooms in on the homework he's doing it, and it's like really basic math, and then halfway down he gives this homework to some other guy, and 3/4 of the questions aren't even answered. It's just this really basic one. It's like, what is this? What is this guy can't even do basic math? And it's just like, that was quite amusing, yeah.
Oh, you've got to show me that.
Yeah. Okay, right, so we best leave it now. We've been on for a good hour and a half now. So, unless anybody has anything urgent they want to talk about right now, all good?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
I think we've had quite an extensive one. Oh, my mother's just said, "You are the magic in my life, baby." How to make me that little bit cooler, Mum.
on that bombshell.
On that bombshell. We will obviously end it with myself, Dave, then Julietta for the goodbyes. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It's good to be back. We will be on next week sometime, hopefully around about the same time. And Terry says, "No, I just like your voices." It's our Irish. Yeah, I think he's talking about ours because what he's obviously got the picture of me up above his wall, and he's putting a voice to that picture now, saying,
"Yeah."
Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us and for commenting along with us. This will be up on iTunes and on YouTube and on Twitch and other million places. Oh, Google Play as well, if you want to listen to it back later on. If you don't and you just want to join in next time, then we'll be here next week. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I've been Matt Geary.
I've been David Foy.
I've been hungry the whole time.
Thank you very much, guys, and good evening.